The Golf Club by HB Studios is meant to be a golfer's experience of golf, according to the developer. Is that the experience it delivers? Find out in this Golf Gadget review of The Golf Club.
All right, 145 yards out.
The Golf Club is a game that's much more Microsoft Lynx from the 1990s than Tiger Woods' PGA Tour from the 2000s. It's meant to attract gamers with a true-to-life feel, rather than fancy graphics and arcade-style shots. Getting the ball close to the hole is certainly possible, but the method for doing so is meant to be more skill-based than stat or equipment-based, like arcade-style games.
Very nice.
The game looks good, utilizing the Unity engine well. The backgrounds come off a little bland sometimes, even when the foregrounds are great.
Okay, what are you going to do here? Up to you.
The included commentary from a disembodied voice known only as John is encouraging and engaging.
Well, I've seen worse. I can tell you that.
He's obviously rooting for the player and is quick to offer apologetic responses if you have difficulty.
Oh, that was going to be magnificent.
The sound of the clubs, balls, and ambient noises feels very authentic and adds to the immersion. Unfortunately, there's no applause or other gallery sounds during tournaments. There are multiple career modes with varying levels of difficulty. It's worth noting that the scores of the AI players on the more advanced tours can get beyond ridiculous. You can play against friends or rivals, or even enjoy a round versus other players' ghosts. It's a fun experience to see how their shots ended up, as yours is arcing through the air. The included course designer is amazing. The community is active, and there are tens of thousands of community courses to choose from. Now, all of that being said, there are some gameplay design choices which seem to be for the express purpose of creating frustration for the player.
All right, looking good so far.
One of the most important pieces of information a golfer can have is distance.
Looks like about 100 yards to the pin here.
Every golfer wants to know not only how far they are from the flag, but how far away is the center, front, and back of the green? How far away is the water or the sand bunkers? Is that tree 30 yards away or 50? The golf club does offer a yardage overlay for each hole, but it doesn't update once you've hit a shot. Also, there are no rangefinders, commonly used by golfers in real life, to determine these distances. The yardage to the pin is shown, but that's all. The rough is very punishing. While I do like that the rough causes difficulty for the player, the amount of difficulty it adds can be disconcerting. A club that usually goes 180 yards, suddenly only going 70 yards, can completely throw off a hole.
Get it back on the fairway.
The sand difficulty is even worse, and any thoughts of hitting the green from a fairway bunker should be scrapped immediately.
Out of that fairway bunker, you even got some decent distance on there.
The distance of your shots is controlled by how far back you swing. The two swing options available are to use your mouse or to use a game controller. There is no 3-click swing like many other PC golf games have. Also, the golf club does not have a power meter for your swing, instead opting for a percentage that shows up after the ball is struck. This model is meant to feel more authentic, but instead can cause added frustrations. To estimate how far you're hitting the ball, you visually monitor how far back the club head goes during your swing. Now, this proved to be wildly inaccurate for me and exceedingly difficult to reproduce. A swing I thought would go about 90% went 70%, and a swing that I wanted to go 60% went 97%. While this can make the game feel more like golf, I found it more frustrating and confusing than challenging. When my shot goes careening past the pin, and I'm faced with AI opponents shooting 14 under par on their rounds, I'm likely yelling 4-letter words that aren't golf.
Oh, that was moderately disappointing.
When standing over the ball, you're given a suggested club and an estimate of how far the ball will go. Unfortunately, it's a static club distance that doesn't take into account things like lie, elevation, wind, speed of the greens, or anything else, which will have an effect on your shot.
33 feet to the hole here.
It takes lots of practice to get a feel for things. Speaking of which, the lack of practice rounds is very confusing. Every professional tournament has a practice round. Players routinely go to the putting green before teeing off so that they can get a feel for the speed of the greens that day.
Well done.
Not replicating that here feels like a huge oversight.
Okay, so
Mulligans are also not available.
for the round.
Now, it's understandable in tournaments, but when just playing a course on my own, I should be able to hit any shot I want multiple times. The workaround offered is to use the course designer, where you can hit as many shots as you want from wherever you want. However, that would also require me to design the exact course I want to play just to practice it before a tournament.
Yes.
One more small frustration. After a tournament ends, there's no way to review your scorecard.
For your round today.
Again, this feels like a huge oversight. Finally, the character creator is frankly terrible. The models look goofy and blocky, most of the clothes are ugly, and the equipment choices are non-existent. There's also no option for editing the look of your character from the main menu. You must start a game in order to get to the character editor. Different equipment has no bearing on how far, how high, or how straight you hit the ball. There's also no option to alter your club setup. The golf club is not a bad game, and I spent most of my time enjoying it immensely.
9-footer here.
It's normally half the price of most AAA titles, and it offers a huge amount of replayability with the course designer and tournaments against friends. But when all of the frustrating moments add up to a bad round,
Even.
it's difficult to call it a fun experience. The golf club earned 40 points and is recommended by Golf Gadget Review.